Hey everybody, this is Randy with Carchaeology, and today's video is a really fun one. Now about 12, maybe even 14 years ago, I sold a 1954 Volkswagen Beetle to a guy up in LA, and we've kept in touch throughout these years, and recently he told me he was converting it to electric power. Now at first I was a bit skeptical, but when it was done, I asked if I could come check it out. So follow along and you'll see what a real air-cooled nut like myself thinks of an EV bug. All right, I'm going to drive this little bug here in a second, and it's a car that I've driven before, but something's changed. Around back here. The motor's gone. So this is my first experience with an electric VW. And we'll see if I like it or I hate it, but they tell me this is the future. So let's bring it on. Back here.
I guess we don't really need the fire extinguisher anymore, eh?
No, probably not. All right, so does it just turn on with the key then?
Yep.
So no lights on the dash or anything?
Battery percentage, and then it's got different readings that you can. I just keep it on there so you know how much battery's left. This shows you sort of if you're driving, if you got your foot down, it'll go to red. If you're cruising, it'll stay green.
Okay.
This is important because that's reverse. That is not reverse. That is reverse.
Okay. All right. Got it.
And that's it. When you're going downhill, you can pull that, and that's regen, and that puts charge back into the battery and instead of using the brake, and you'll feel that as we go down the hill. It has a heater. Excellent. Wipers and lights. And the guys at EV West, they etched these, you know, because they were never etched before.
Those are killer.
They're good, aren't they? Look.
Yeah, they are really good. So do you need to use the clutch?
It's got 2 gears, 1 and 2, and you use the clutch only to shift between them. So to start off now, put it in reverse if you just put your foot down.
So you don't really need to hit the
don't use the clutch.
Don't use the clutch. Just.
Oh, you're in neutral, so sorry, use the clutch. Now put it in first.
In first.
Yeah.
But reverse.
Reverse, and that's it. So that you should go backward.
And the brakes, of course, are regular brakes.
Yeah.
As we go off into the trees.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Good.
Okay.
So now push that in.
All right.
And that's you going forward now.
See, I put in the clutch automatically, thinking I need to.
Yeah, you will. And you hear every rattle. Like all the stuff you never heard before. You just like, has this door always sounded like this?
Oh, it's so mental.
Isn't it weird?
Messes with your head because.
Don't use the clutch, just.
Oh yeah, here I go with the clutch again.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I need to cut that leg off so I don't push that.
Now, if you pull the regen and then just let the brake shot, you'll feel.
We're gonna
go down here and just park at the end of the path. So that's with regen on. You need to brake still,
right?
But you'll feel when we get down on the open road.
You can feel it.
It's like engine braking, really.
Huh.
Yeah, just stop here and then we'll just pick up jamming.
All right.
First thoughts, first impressions.
I need a soundtrack with tweeter pipes is what I need. Other than that, everything's okay so far. Okay, so key on, that's easy. Reverse, and I don't need to do anything with the.
Put it in first. That's it, and then reverse. That's it.
All right. So then forward. All right. Here I go. Now, I definitely wouldn't have tried that with a regular motor to get ahead of that traffic coming. That's awesome. normal. The only thing missing is the sound.
Yeah.
Which I suppose you could put a soundtrack of like a VW engine going if you really wanted to.
Yeah. I don't miss it. It's so funny. I don't think about it too much.
No.
I mean, I enjoy when I'm driving my other Beetle, I enjoy the noise, but I don't miss it. And this one, it doesn't detract from my pleasure of driving the car. And usually I've got someone in here to chat to, or I'm listening to music, and so neither of those things were easy to do before because it was so noisy, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It is significantly quieter inside.
Yeah.
You know, not that a stock engine is too incredibly loud.
No.
But still. And the engine has its own, or maybe it's just the gearbox, has its own little whine to it. So there is some feedback.
Yeah.
See, already hitting the clutch. It's like,
yeah.
It's probably good to continue to hit the clutch, because then if I get in another car and don't do that, I'd really be screwed.
Screwing up.
It does pick up and go really nice. That is nice. It's not crazy. It's not like Tesla insanity mode or whatever they call it.
But it's faster than the car was before, that's for sure.
Oh my God, yeah. We've got a Porsche behind him. Maybe we can lose him.
Porsche coming up?
Yeah, he's coming up next to us.
He's like, what? Where's the noise from that car? No, he's not caring either way. Right, Bonzi? Oh, you're right, Mons.
Although I'm sure he'll out-corner us.
Yes, yeah, I would have thought so.
I won't go there. So how many miles have you put on this so far?
I've used it a lot. I to be honest, I forgot to note down 500-600 miles probably. Not massive amount, but I'm enjoying it. And it's just very satisfying to come back in the morning and it's full. You know, you just plug it in overnight and it's full in the morning. It's not a big deal. And I've never been anywhere where, you know, I use it for just commuting in and out of town and stuff. I never do more than 100 miles anyway doing that, usually. And if I were to want to, well, there's so many, there's the app, you know, with charge stations. You just literally, you can go from charge station to charge station. And if you wanted to go further afield, it wouldn't, you know, you just have to spend a couple of hours charging it here and there.
Now, at one of those fast charge stations, how long does it take to charge it?
I don't know that. I haven't tried that, so I don't know. But I think it would be, it's a phase 2 charger, so I'm sure it would only take an hour or two, but I'm not sure.
Because I've seen those charging stations around town now and then, but with people hooked up to it.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's like it's dead. At a stoplight, it's so, there's no noise. I want to start it again or something. There was that panic moment of the, oh shit, here we are again with a Volkswagen that won't go in the middle of traffic.
I know that feeling. That's one of the reasons why I did it in the first place, so I don't have that feeling anymore.
With it being as quick as it is, it makes you really want to like do one with proper suspension on it, so it like really
pulls the road,
really grips the canyon here.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, hitting the clutch pedal again. It's just, so all of that bolts directly to the stock transaxle, or has the gearing and stuff been changed in the trans?
I don't know what he did with the trans, to be honest. I don't know. My understanding was you just bolt the electric motor onto the stock transmission, but I don't know, because it's a 2-speed now. I don't know if that's the case. I think they must have done something to the gearing, surely, if it's only 2 gears, or they're not just utilizing first and second gear. I don't think.
I mean, it certainly doesn't feel like first and second gear in the trans. Maybe it's just third.
It's like
and
high
fourth.
and low, or it could be third and fourth. Yeah.
Because the electric motor has a lot of torque, so it can pull it up from any point.
Yeah. I think you can probably wind it open more than you might in a petrol car, you know,
Right.
But I think where you change gear there is where I would.
One of the things I was concerned about was weight, because once you add the engine and all the batteries and that sort of thing, I imagine it's significantly more weight than the VW motor, isn't it?
No, they keep it so it's the same. That's why the range is not massive. The range is like 100 miles.
Okay.
And they could make the range much more by putting in more batteries. But what they try and do is make the car as close to, if not exactly, the same sort of weight as it was when it came out of the factory. So the petrol tank is where the batteries are, and there's some batteries in the parcel shelf behind the back seat. And the engine isn't heavier than a VW engine, I don't think.
Because it doesn't feel any
it should
different.
drive the same.
Yeah.
That's what they try and achieve, is exactly the same driving experience.
No, it doesn't feel heavier on these corners, or if it does, it's just.
It's because you go into them a bit faster. That's what
Well, maybe.
I think it's true. Because I was going around the corners going, whoa. But I realised I was going into them much faster than I would be if it was petrol. You know, because you can, yeah.
Oh, it's really quite nice. I'm not. I'm kind of excited about it, really.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I hoped you would like it. I hoped you weren't going to go rubbish. You know, it's just because it's. I just don't think twice about using the car now. You know, sometimes I would go, oh, well, if I've really got to get somewhere, you know, if I'm going for a meeting or something, would I take this? Maybe not, just in case something happened. Whereas now I wouldn't think twice about using the car anytime.
Well, and that's huge.
And that's good.
If anything, it feels a little more solid in the corners.
Yeah.
Than it would with the regular air-cooled motor in it. But it doesn't feel like it's, you know, top heavy or trying to throw you off the road or do anything funky like that. As I flip it.
As they end up in the telegraph pole.
I'm pretty impressed with it, I gotta say.
Oh, good, I'm glad. I am.
I'm just overall, the fit and finish of everything, the way it's all put together is like so tidy and clean and non-invasive or invasive. You know, it's, other than the two little holes back there, even the wiring up front looks like it's pretty straightforward. You know, a few more wires running in behind the dash for these controls, but it's not like big holes are cut in it or anything.
No.
I don't know, there's so much debate out there with people right now in the classic car world, because everyone wants to preserve what's there and continue to run that stuff. And, you know, it's, with VWs, there's always going to be VW parts. It's not going to be difficult to make them go, but like dealing with the old Packards and stuff like that, you know, at some point the parts disappear. You either need to make them to make it work, or do something else. And all the old guys that really know how to work on those cars are kind of, you know, they're on their way out. So it's, I don't know.
I think it's really a personal thing, depending on what you want to use the car for and the car itself. Like for me, I've always wanted to use this as my daily driver. I've always used it as my daily driver. Like I've got other things, but this is the car I've always sort of jumped in to go somewhere. And I just now I don't think twice about it. Like it's for me. And also, I've got a small amount of mechanical knowledge, but really a small amount.
Right.
So if something goes wrong at the side of the road that's not just a basic thing, then I'm stuck, you know.
Yeah.
And when it comes to a car like the Wolseley or the old Buick or something, well, I wouldn't do it to the old Buick because it's, I don't know. There's something historical and there's something that would feel wrong about converting the Buick. But I don't feel that way about the Wolseley, because I want to use the Wolseley. Like with the Buick is an experience. The Buick is like, okay, let's get the Buick out today.
Right.
And it becomes the day's focus is getting the Buick out, getting it all ready, warming it up,
Right.
going out, and you always know that you probably might not make it back home.
Well, there's
Right?
the whole fiddling process,
Yes.
right? You want something that you've got to
Yeah.
fiddle with, and
Yeah.
that's a part of the charm and a part of the challenge.
So you have to know that you might not make it back, and that it's got to be okay. You take the Buick out on a day where you can, that's okay. But the Wolseley, I want to use the Wolseley like this. I want to jump in the Wolseley to go to the shops and stuff, because I just think it's an amazing looking car, and it's not as sort of precious in a way it is to me, but not as precious as the old Buick is.
Sure.
So I might convert the Wolseley, because I think having that electric would be awesome.
I think so. I mean, sure, there's probably a handful of Wolseley collectors that would scream blaspheme.
Yeah, but they're not driving it here in LA.
Yeah.
And that car wasn't designed to be driven here in the heat, you know?
And quite frankly, an old British saloon like that, there's not a whole lot of value to it. They're known to be extraordinarily temperamental.
Yeah. And I live at the top of a fucking huge hill.
Right. Making it to the bottom of the driveway would be an accomplishment in that car. But
So, and how cool to be able to just jump in it like this, turn a key and go anywhere and not have to worry about it, and then plug it in at night. I think it would be awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, it's really no different than the whole resto mod
Yes.
thing. Where you take a 55 Chevy and you put in an LS motor and automatic transmission and all of that. It's really no different than that, other than it's electric versus fossil fuels.
Yes.
In fact, most of those builds, street rods and things like that, are far more invasive when it comes to changing the way the car is in a way that couldn't be put back.
Yes.
And I think with some cars, that's really important to keep in mind.
Yeah.
You don't want to hack them up.
Yeah. This has got a Bluetooth radio here.
Okay.
And so just pull on here, we'll get her Uber. And that's still the same speakers you put in the suitcase. Hi, laddie.
Hi, she's good.
Now I can listen to my one.
So is this the future? Totally stock and simple, but with electric stuff underneath? I don't know. So in the end, guess what? It didn't suck. In fact, it was really pretty awesome. I mean, the installation of everything was so Swiss. It was so sanitary, so clean, and so non-invasive. You could easily put that car back to stock in a weekend if you had all the original parts. And in fact, I still have the numbers matching original motor for that oval here in my shed, and I'm not going to get rid of it because who knows what's down the line for that car. But in the meantime, it's pretty awesome. It drives well. It doesn't handle funky. It's smooth. It's simple. And it's reliable. And there's definitely something to be said for that. So, yeah, it's modifying an original car. It certainly is. But I really don't see it as being, well, in fact, it's probably even less invasive or less harm to the car than most of these guys that are slamming these things to the ground and putting narrowed beams and big dual carb motors in the back. It's really no different. Now, granted, it's a bit expensive right now, but I think as technology improves and there's some competition out there for this equipment, it'll get cheaper and it'll get easier to find, and it'll be something that home mechanics can do themselves. I mean, it's certainly big talk about what the future is for vintage cars, and it's not as scary as I thought it might be. If you get a chance to check one of these cars out for yourself, please do. Go for a run in it, and I promise you, you'll kind of dig it. And one of these with a little hopped up electric motor and some tightened up suspension, a little more hot rod style, heck yeah, bring it on. Thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe. More car content to come. The future is ahead.